Ladies and gents, welcome back. We're well into the inquiry into the use of the Emergencies Act, and we're at the point now where we're hearing testimony from convoy participants. Now, yesterday's testimony ran over 10 hours, I believe, so I'm going to just try to hit some main points on where I thought it was poignant or important in this 10 or so minute video for you guys this morning. Now, Chris Barber, one of the original convoy organizers, when he was taking the stand, he played a video from his TikTok at the time when he was organizing and rallying people up for this convoy. And in particular, he was emphasizing the importance of being peaceful and also the importance of safety and giving way and giving heed to any emergencies vehicles. So here's the testimony here.
And we're going to watch it in its entirety, and then I'll have some questions flowing from it.
Okay. Hey guys, convoy related issues right now, and I just want to get this out there. This convoy to Ottawa next week on Sunday is a peaceful protest. Anybody that joins this protest or this convoy from either coast to coast is to adhere to the rules of the convoy, and I am dead serious. If anybody fucks with them, they are out. Emergency vehicles have the right of way. When the lights are flashing, we pull over and they are the utmost attention. Law enforcement is to be respected. Never, ever not respected. We are working with law enforcement across the country in big cities, and we have their approval 100% until we fuck that up. Convoy rules. There's a code of ethics we're going to have to follow. We want this done properly. Right now, the public is 100% on the truckers and this mandate, removal of mandates side. We do not want to lose that. When we start acting like assholes, we lose that. Let's keep our eyes on the prize and hit the federal government where it hurts. We want the mandates gone. Mandates need to be removed, and we're not leaving until they are. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. You can pull that down. So I have a few questions arising out of that video. One of the things you say early on is that you want a peaceful protest. And the Commission has seen many instances, and we don't have the time to take you to them all, of where you insist on the protest being peaceful, and to the extent there's any sort of suggestion of violence, you immediately step in and say, this needs to be peaceful. Why was that important to you?
We had the public on our support. That was, and I'll apologize for the language there, Commissioner. That was another thing that I've worked on in the last number of months.
I've heard worse. Don't worry.
That's good. You can take the trucker out of the truck, but yeah. That was the most important. So we had, the world was.
So they're giving an instance of just how important it was for the convoy organizers in the beginning. That everything remained peaceful and everything remained safe in the convoy at large. Now we had Steeve Charland, who I wasn't familiar with going into this testimony. He's one of the leaders of the group Farfada, which is out of Quebec. The media has been drumming them up as this big far right or even biker gang. There's a bunch of names that they've given to them. I wasn't familiar with them, like I said. But what we found out is that they were a convoy of cars, trucks, and caravans, or Winnebagos, as he said it, and they came there to feed people. And this is testimony from Steeve Charland, and he talks about basically how the charter was not respected.
The media created the left and the right. I don't even know what that means. I'm of the people, and I want to stand up so that the people can keep on standing up and be heard. Left, right, up, down, I don't give a damn. It's become the people against the elected officials who are managed by multinationals, by money, by other powers, and that makes no sense in a quote-unquote evolved society in 2022. How come we have to demand that our charters are respected? Otherwise, we are put in jail because we offered soup and coffee to people who were in need. I will keep on saying this during my trial, if I'm accused of mischief for what I did, a lot of people in this room should also be in jail.
That was clipped by Rebel News. Now, if you wanted to see any dangers or anything that the media has been talking about during this convoy, again, I'm going to link everybody to the convoylive.com, which is put together by some amazing people. And you in this, you have a timeline of everything that was going on during the time of the convoy. You can choose the date, time of day, hit go. It'll show you exactly where all the streamers were. It'll give you a link to every one of their stream feeds where you can go back and you can watch everything. You can even see a timeline of every individual overlapping. So if you feel that maybe you don't trust the alternative media and you want to see what's going on based on what the mainstream media has been saying, well, you can go and you can look exactly at what was happening at the time. And yeah, there was none of that. The biker gangs and roving bikers from Quebec, known as Farfada, we didn't see any of that. But we did see the testimony here was exactly who Steeve Charland was and what kind of a organization he represents. And well, here's some more what will become infamous things that he said at this inquiry.
So that's part of the fundamental rights to be able to express oneself in Canada, as far as I'm concerned, but I lost this right. Question, do you have anything else to add about the impact of the Emergency Act on you before I move on to my next questions? Answer, yes. When you started with the examination, you asked me if I had been the witness of violence, and yes, I witnessed violence by a group called Antifa that vandalized vehicles during the night to damage or to harm the manifestation. And I was the witness of violence by the police, and I don't know who are those mercenaries who had no number on their uniforms. They couldn't be identified, and most of them did not speak our language, and they were violent to dismantle the peaceful protest with women, children, and the elderly. I was the witness of that violence, and I had never witnessed any violence in any protest. And I also spoke with residents of Ottawa, and I can assure you that everything you heard in the media is just shit.
Now, of course, erupting with applause inside, and that became a bit of a point of contention for the commissioner, Rouleau, as the inquiry kept going on for the day. And here we have another clip, and this is Bridget as she came on for her testimony. Viva Fry giving this clip, saying this is an epic moment of the day. Now here's her testimony, and keep this in mind. Well, I'll let this play.
I just want everybody to know that we weren't there to disrupt the city residents. We were there to be heard. I had given 32 emails approximately to MPs and MPPs. 32. Not one of them did anything for me. I followed how things are supposed to go. You first go and you complain. You try again. You try again. And when CBSA sent me a reply, pretty much, suck it up, buttercup, this is the way it's gonna go and you're about to lose your job, so don't worry about it. What did you want me to do? Sit down, lie down, lose everything over a mandate that was really no longer effect in the US? That's what my country was asking for me. That's what Canadians that were supporting vaccine mandates were asking of me, to lose everything. Because they were afraid. Because our government did a very good job at scaring people, making them so afraid that today still some wear face masks. Many of us here are not. And that propaganda hurt our country. and having our prime minister saying that there will be consequences for the unvaccinated, and we don't want them sitting beside our children on planes and trains and automobiles. And the amount of, I'm trying to control my anger over this gentleman, but the wording that he used was division the whole time. Pit one person against another, shame them, make them comply, and if they don't, they will. I'm sorry. I draw the line when my government wants to throw something into my body I cannot remove. That is where I draw the line. Bodily autonomy, it is mine. It is not my government's.
Thank you for answering my questions.
Now, the point that I wanted to get into, and the great speech here by Bridget, the point here is at the end, and this is after Steve said his bit, and he got an applause, and then the Commissioner Rouleau was not very happy with that. Then we had this moment here.
Bodily autonomy, it is mine. It is not my government's.
Thank you for answering my questions.
We're going to take a break, and I'm going to consider whether we're going to clear the hall. So I'm going to take a short break, and when I come back, I'll decide if we're going to clear the hall. 5 minutes.
The Commission is in recess for 5 minutes. La Commission est levée pour 5 minutes.
So this is an actual hearing. This isn't a rally. This isn't something like that. So people need to keep in mind behavior in a setting like this. We noticed, over the course of the day yesterday, there was a few outbursts, and this almost led to the commissioner clearing the hall in that case. Now, I'm not going to dwell too much on that. I just think that people, when they're in a professional hearing or in a legal hearing like this, they need to keep to that. Now, yesterday, a lot came out, whether it was trying to drum up drama between organizers and whatnot. One thing for certain is nothing came out that proved that the commission that the Emergencies Act was needed. And I'm going to defer back to Brendan Miller of the Freedom Corp and his opening statement. And this is what he had to say then about what it is that needs to be proved here.
With respect to sort of everyone's given an overview of the theory of their case, it is our view that there was no justification whatsoever to invoke the Emergencies Act. The Emergencies Act requires several things. One, it could be invoked due to espionage and sabotage. Are you going to hear any evidence about espionage and sabotage? The answer to that is no. Two, it could be invoked on the basis of clandestine or deceptive foreign influence, or foreign influence that involves a threat to a person. Are you going to hear evidence about that? The answer to that is no. It also could be invoked on the basis of threats or use of acts of serious violence against persons or property. Are you going to hear evidence of violence against persons or property? The answer is no. Lastly, it can also be invoked if there is a group or persons trying to destroy or overthrow by violence the system of government of Canada. Are you going to hear evidence about individuals trying to do that? The answer is no. And the answer is that there was no reasonable and probable grounds to invoke the Emergencies Act, and that the government exceeded their jurisdiction, both constitutionally and legislatively, in doing so. Thank you.
So there we have it. That's what the inquiry is actually all about. We're here not to drum up media scares about how bad the convoy organizers were or how bad the police were, this or that. It's about whether or not the federal government had the authority to invoke the act. And that's where we're at. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of the testimonies from yesterday and where you think this is going in future days. Well, I'm just going to end it there because it's getting too long. Join me tonight, Maxime Bernier on the channel. We're going to have him on, and we're going to be chatting with him 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern. Check it out. We'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.